Hi, friends. In this episode, we're going to share what immigration bill is on the floor for the Senate in 2020. It's called the High Skilled Immigrant Fairness Act of 2020. This bill was originally introduced by Senator Mike Lee, Republican out of Utah. It's actually a bipartisan bill proposed in the Senate. The House passed their own version several months before, but there's a lot of differences, so they're going to have to compromise and mesh them together. But the Senate still has not passed their own bill. There's a lot going on. We have good news and bad news. Number one, the good news is that Senator Dick Durbin, from Democrat Illinois, he has included an amendment to lock in to preserve the visa availability for children who age out normally, and to lock it into the date of the petition being approved. So, for example, currently it's a I wouldn't say it's complicated, but it's a complex formula to figure out the Child Status Protection Act age to determine if a child who's not an adult can still be have a visa issued to that person. So now Dick Durbin is trying to make that less complicated, less complex by just focusing on what is the age of that child on the date that the petition was approved. The other good news is that uh, this bill is trying to increase the family-based visa limitation, fiscal year limitation from 7% to 15%. So much higher. And because at 7%, that's why there's a significant backlog for the top most populous countries like Mexico, China, India, and the Philippines. Senator Mike Lee from Utah and Rick Scott, Senator out of Florida, have proposed an amendment where it limits the number of employment-based visas based on resident status, based on people who have H-1B status and also H-4. And H-4 is basically this dependent spouse visa of someone who has H-1B visa. So they're putting a limitation specifically capped at 50% for people who have this visa, either of those two visas in the last 2 years. But that will happen after the first 9 years if this bill is passed. In the first 9 years, it'll be capped at 70%. Now, there are two exceptions to this proposal, and that is now there are two exceptions to this proposal, and that is for people who are applying as a medical professional or people applying through a national interest waiver. And when I say 50% or 70%, it's based on the total number of people admitted into the country based on employment-based visas. And when I say 50% or 70%, it's out of the total number of employment-based resident status admitted in that fiscal year. Now you might wonder, well, 50 and 70% sounds pretty good. Yes, that is true. However, because currently for EB2, for those who have advanced degrees, it's capped at 28.6% of total employment-based resident status. However, keep in mind what I said earlier is that it's capped for those who have H-1B or H-4 visa within the last 2 years. It does appear that this is supposed to benefit people who are from countries that are backlogged in this visa category, this employment-based category. And that would include India because the visa bulletin currently shows for December 2020 that they're working on cases that were filed back in October 2009. So that is 11 years ago. It's pretty ridiculous. The other country that is backlogged is China, Republic of China, and they're working on cases that were filed back in May 2016. So I can see how this proposed amendment is trying to essentially increase the cap from the 28.6% to 70% for the first 9 fiscal years, and then after that, lower it to 50%, but it's still higher than 28.6%. This should help out for the next decade, and it should even out for the other employment-based categories. Now on to the bad news. The same two senators Rick Scott out of Florida and Mike Lee out of Utah. As part of their proposed amendment, they have included language that would prohibit people from China from obtaining resident status or going through adjustment of status process if they've been affiliated with the military, the Chinese military, or specifically the Chinese Communist Party. Before, there's not anything like that. There are questions about it on the form, but it currently does not prohibit someone from obtaining resident status. Does not entirely surprise given the recent news the past year about espionage from Chinese officials. Whether I know that to be true or not, that's not my job, but I'm here to share what's going on down on the floor, the Senate floor, so that you are what's going on, whether you need to apply now or apply later. So if, for example, if you're a Chinese national right now and you're eligible to apply for resident status, you should go ahead and do that now because it could prohibit you in the future. Friends, if you're new to our channel, click subscribe down below and go ahead and click the bell so you get all the notifications of our future videos so you get free content. And smash the like button. And please leave a comment below. We'd love to know if some of the senators have considered something that would benefit you. Please also share this video if you know someone who could take advantage of this knowledge, this information. We'll provide continual updates about this bill as it progresses. And also, please join our Facebook group. It's called Immigrant Guide to Support Living in America. It's a community space where you can share tips and advice with each other. And we also provide information as well. Until next time, please continue wearing a mask. Thank you.